Hello there YouTube, it's Jacob from Team Pyramid. So today I want to do a video, as yesterday's video was a top 5 meta decks of December 2018. Today's video I want it to be the top 5 rogue / budget decks for December 2018. Okay, so I like playing rogue. Rogue is one of my favorite things to do. Obviously I have meta decks. I do like to play meta, but I like to steal games with rogue decks. But these are just in the order that obviously I have chose. If you think I've missed any off, or if you think I should have added any, please let me know in the comments below. I'd really like to hear that. Sorry, I've had to do this video a few times, mouth's a little dry. Okay, so starting off with Zombie World. So the zombie decks. This deck is really consistent. Okay, there has been multiple variants of it, and it depends on what sort of variant you want to play, depending on the price of this. Okay, there's been multiple variants. It used to be 60 card Zombie Lightsworn. That went down when Solemn Warnings went. Not Solemn Warnings, when Grass is Greener went. However, zombies have now started to get a boost back again. It's a very fun deck, like I said. Very competitive. Zombie World is a hell of a card. And the fact that this deck now can tutor it out, it's really good. All you need as well is the 3 structure decks, depending if you want to play it as a budget. You don't have to do the vampires. The Zombie Horde structure deck is by 3. £24, there you go, job done. You've got a semi-competitive deck just there. Okay, if you wanted to go a bit more towards, you could also add in the vampires or the Shuanuis. Just gets the deck a little bit more consistent and allows it to actually progress a little bit further. But it depends on what your budget is. Like I said, I haven't tested the deck that much. That's why I put it at number 5. It's a strong contender, and for the price of it, it is fun. Then number 4 is Burning Abyss. So this deck is tried and tested. This deck is strong. This deck is going nowhere. This deck will always be about. I don't think we'll ever see the end of it. Burning Abyss, obviously, if you've lived under a rock for however many years, it works around level 3 monsters, being able to overlay and fusion and synchro up. The deck itself works around graveyard effects. You can use Burning Abyss with Phantom Knights, Burning Abyss with Dangers, pretty much anything you want to throw at Burning Abyss. The deck itself has a plethora of monsters, and it goes ahead and it works in the same, as long as there's like Dante still sitting at 3. Dante lets you mill 3 cards and just get effects off from that. It's an extremely good card. We don't have Cherubinis yet, but the deck itself can still compete. It was getting tops, and I know it's quite very popular around my locals as well. Okay, my favorite thing about this deck is the fact that it's been reprinted multiple times. The deck itself is cheap. You can pick this up for way under £100. Okay, and I know that sounds crazy. Oh, it's coming up to Christmas and you talk about spending £100 on bits of cardboard. But let's be honest. This is the perfect time of year to buy cards. This is the perfect time of year to buy cards. Everyone wants presents to get people presents for Christmas. Why not get them a deck that they're going to enjoy? It's going to stay reasonably competitive, and it's going to actually go ahead and keep them up to date with the meta. The deck is so versatile; it will be able to fit in. And personally, the player base for the Burning Abyss, they're dedicated, and there's many sites. If you ever are wanting to look up the deck, definitely just type it in. They'll be able to help you there. Okay. So number 3 is sitting here at Dark Lord Turbo. So I put this in the top 5 as well, obviously with the Dark Warriors, but this is mostly Dark Lord Turbo. Pretty much the exact same concept. Dark Lord is a hell of a card. It would stop your opponent from being able to do pretty much anything they want. It banishes in it, banishing their effects. The deck itself, obviously, again, is getting a boost with the new Neospatian card that allows you to go ahead and when you summon it, it gets you go ahead and get Neo Dolphin. So you can still do the 6-card hand loop even with this. The deck is cheap, really cheap. Most of the cards have been reprinted, and especially as they've just come out in the Legendary Duelists, legendary hero decks. Again, brilliant ideas for people for Christmas. That's one of the things that I like about these decks. These are pretty cheap, and they're easy to pick up as presents for people if they want to play semi-competitive and actually keep going forward from there. The deck itself obviously has been tried and tested. Multiple deck profiles online about it, so if you are struggling and you do want to have a look, I think it's a definite contender. Off to number 2. Number 2 is probably my second favourite in this, and I'm so glad. So the ban list has freed this up. So ABC. So ABC is a strong deck. It has always been a strong deck. It was meta. It was tier 1. Dropped down to tier 5. No, dropped down to tier 1.5 and then roughly tier 2, and it bounces back and forth between. It takes a skilled player to play this deck in today's meta up to the standards of, like, obviously with the meta. However, if you want to go ahead and play the deck, it is fun. It is cheap, and you can obviously max rarity it as well if you're a rarity whore. You can go ahead and do that. But reasonably, you can pick this up pretty much with 3 structure decks, and away you go again. You would need 3 gold gadgets, 3 silver gadgets. Now Summon Sorcerer will be available for us as well come this week, the end of this week, over here in Europe. If we didn't get that, when the Platinum gadget comes out, that can be a brilliant addition to the deck. With the Clifford Scouts. Not Clifford Scouts, the Clifford Link monster as well. Really, really good deck to actually go ahead. And the fact that the boss monster itself is probably still one of the best boss monsters that Konami have created, with the fact of ABC Dragon Buster. The ABC Dragon Buster obviously lets you pop cards and banishes them for either player's turn during either player's turn, and then you can go ahead and pop itself, get the monsters back, the A, B, and C. And then you can go ahead and link off with them, activate their effects because they've been sent from the field to the grave to activate their effects, which A lets you go ahead and return a Union monster from your deck, from your graveyard to your hand. B lets you search a deck for a Union monster and adds it to your hand. And C lets you go ahead and special summon one from your hand to the field. So you've pretty much getting your resources back, and then you can go ahead and get into an ABC again. Into a Dragon Buster again, along with a Link monster. The deck's still got, obviously with the loss of Fireball, it's still got Decode Talker and all that as well. So it's a really, really good card, a really, really good deck. Definitely looking to picking it up. Like I said, it's one of my favourites. Off to number 1, my personal favourite as well. This is actually my personal favourite. I've always been a fan of this deck because it matches my playstyle, and that's Photon Galaxy. So this deck has recently had, over the past couple of sets, has recently had some support, and I think that this deck is a very, very good sleeper deck at the moment. It plays hard, it plays fast, and the fact it can turbo out monsters from your deck that are 3,000 attack, that lets you go ahead and whenever it's attacked or whenever you attack, you can banish the card and that card until the end of the turn. I think that's really, really good. And obviously the new Link monster for it as well turbos out other cards like that. So it's crazy how that deck is actually going at the moment. Definitely one to keep an eye on. The deck itself is not that expensive. It is, I'd say, it's sitting here. It's probably the most expensive out of the 3, out of the 5 decks that I've actually said. That's only because it's reasonably new. The the Photon Orbitals or the Galaxy Orbitals will be about £10 each. The Galaxy Knights are around 15 each. So like I said, it is sitting there roughly the deck costs roughly just under £150 to £200. It is more expensive deck, but you can play it on the budget side. You don't need these cards. You can play it on the budget side with the 3 Thrashers, the three Crushers, and basically keep it going from there. You've got the 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragons. it's your decision of how you want to play build. There's multiple deck profiles. Definitely have a little look if you are considering it. But I think that's a really good deck as well. I do also want to say I didn't add this one in because of the fact of I wasn't sure whether to put it as a rogue deck or a meta deck. But an honourable mention, okay, is Noble Knights. Noble Knights has had consistently more support coming out to it recently, and I think the deck is extremely playable now. The fact it gets out a big boss monster and protects it very well, it's still very hard to deal with. Definitely keep an eye on it as well. It's a reasonably cheap deck as well. That's why I didn't put it in either one of these. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. If you guys want to see any more sorts of videos, so I'm actually thinking of doing videos for decks under £100, decks under £50 and decks under £20 as well, just to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below if you think I've missed any decks off. If you guys think any decks are good sleeper decks at the moment or any other good idea for rogue decks, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much indeed YouTube for watching, and see you in the next one.